You probably know if you're listening to this podcast that you have your own energetic frequency. Like you are a ball of energy, a bundle of energy. But has it occurred to you that you can carry the energy intentionally on purpose of anything that you want to tap into with you at any moment, at any time, and access that energy whenever you need it? Well, that's what we're talking about in today's podcast episode. We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome into the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted. And in this throwback episode of the podcast, we're bringing this was not a podcast first. This was a part of a class that I taught. And we've been bringing all these videos out of the archives and putting them on the podcast because they're amazing and we're not using them. So why not use them? And this one, we're talking about energy magic. And this video is special to me for a few reasons. One, because I think that we really underestimate our energetic connection to things outside of ourselves. And we unintentionally carry a lot of energy with us, heavy energy from interactions, from, like when you go to work and you can't stop thinking or feeling about the way your house is right now, right? Like we're carrying these energies with us unintentionally. But how are we intentionally carrying energy with us? The energy of your favorite crystal, the energy of your favorite candle. How are you accessing that energy and carrying it with you as a support throughout your day, even if you can't have the thing with you? And I think that that is something that we forget as we move through day-to-day life. Now, this episode of the podcast is also really special to me because, as you know, we are right now, Sisters Enchanted has crossed the threshold into 7 years of existence. 7 years of the Sisters Enchanted. I can hardly believe it. It's really wild for me to even say that out loud. And this episode, if you're watching it as a video version, you can see it as a video on Spotify and on YouTube. But if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or somewhere like that, we appreciate that too. So keep on listening. But in this video, this was a huge throwback to me because little did I know, I would be having a baby about 1 week after this recording. And it's so special to me to have this sort of history of the Sisters Enchanted that we're able to go back through. Because we have community members, excuse me, my voice. We have community members who've been with us for this whole 7 years. And my heart pours out in gratitude for all of you who witnessed me almost witnessed me give birth to my second child. I went not from this video, but a week later, I went right from a live stream class I taught to eat dinner to having a baby as a surprise to myself that would happen that day. And seeing this memory, these records that we've been able to keep, and thinking about not only how I have changed in the last 7 years, but the lives that we've been able to impact, thousands of people whose lives have been changed by what we're doing here at the Sisters Enchanted. And you listening and sharing and liking, leaving reviews and being part of the community is helping to aid in that ripple effect and causing this change for other people in the world to step into their power, to make more everyday magic, live with intention, and trust their intuition so we can all have more joy, relaxation, and abundance, even when life feels uncertain and chaotic, which it does most of the time. So I appreciate you being here. Now, that's my heart spiel. Go ahead, kick back, and listen in on some energy magic.
So anyway, the idea about magic. So magic, we do all this stuff, right? We light candles, we have crystals, we say chants and spells, we cast circles, we do all of this stuff. And that's all kind of a physical representation of the energetic, internal stuff that we're doing. And so that physical representation is important because it helps us focus our energy. And it also helps us to harness the energy of these tools that we're using. So, if you're using like a green candle, if you're using a specific herb, or you're using a certain crystal, everything has life to it. Everything works on a vibrational level. And so when we're using these tools, we're utilizing those vibrations. Hi, Sarah. So using tools is really important part of magic. But the most important part, and if any of you, those of you here who are taking or have taken Everyday Magic, our class Everyday Magic, then you've heard me talk about how important it is to have the mental, the mindset stuff going as the foundation of your magical work. So the idea of energy magic is doing magic basically without the tools. So the tools, like I said, they help us focus our energies, and we're able to use kind of that vibrational energy of the tools that we choose to really ramp up what we're doing. But without the energy part, it's all for nothing. It's just like a crystal isn't going to do anything if you're not aligning yourself with the energy of that crystal. So the idea behind energy magic is that we can all do magic on the fly without having all these tools. So like when you're standing in line at the grocery store, or you're just in the car, or you're at work or whatever, you can just tap into the energy portion of the magic without having the tools with you, which is super handy. So it's kind of like if you know of that, the TV show Bewitched, and she would just like, I can't do it, but like wiggle her nose and stuff would happen, right? So it's that kind of idea, as if we could just wiggle our nose and do our magic without having all of the tools, all of the ritual involved in it. And it's kind of, it might seem like, hi Pat, it might seem like not the most exciting thing, but I mean, seriously, throughout the day, how often are you in a situation, you don't just have like, a lot of us probably carry crystals and things with us, but you're not typically in a situation where you can just like in the parking lot when you can't find a parking space, just pop a squat and set up an altar and like manifest a parking space, right? You're trying to find the parking space. So that's where energy magic comes into play, like your everyday life. So like I said, I do have these printouts for you. I'll put in the class site, and I can put them in the Facebook group also. So the idea here is, like I said, to use your own energy. And the other thing we're going to do is talk about using the energy of other things. So let me just get an example here of something. I don't know. I don't have any. Well, here's a green aventurine pyramid. So one of the things that is on the printouts that I have for you is to list the tools that you love to work with and describe the energy of them. And the idea here is that to think on the energy of those tools when you are out and about, and you can just call on that energy. So is what you would do for this first kind of activity in the slides is to pick the tools that you like to work with the most. So I just grabbed this because it was right here. But so here we've got a green aventurine pyramid. If you had like rose quartz or rose petals, or whatever herbs you work with, chamomile, dandelion, like whatever it is, or any other tools that you use. If you use resins like frankincense, different incenses, literally anything that you use, down to acorns, like if you get acorns from outside and you use those. List out the tools that you typically use and spend some time with them and think about how the energy feels to you. So do you feel like a serene kind of feeling when you're focusing or working with this tool? Do you have like a really like amped up and ready to go energy? Do you have like a loving energy? Like how does that tool make you feel when you use it? Hold it, sit with it. So create a list of the tools that you typically use, and then the energy that you associate with that tool. So how it makes you feel, or why you choose to use it. So why you choose to work with it, and what energetic properties you think it brings. So when you make this list and you write down these different energetic pieces to the puzzle here, next time you're out and you're like really stressed out, or you find yourself really frustrated, you can, instead of, if you're home, maybe you would brew yourself a cup of chamomile tea or something, right? But you're not home, you're out and about. So you can think though, close your eyes for a second and think, the soothing power of chamomile is with me. It's here with me now. The energy of that chamomile is here with me. And let that energy come to you. So that's the first thing that you can do with energy magic, is take the tools that you like to work with, or any tool, that you've come across or whatever. And you can do this over time. You don't have to do it all at once. But as you're working with your tools, record how they make you feel energetically. You can record the energetic properties of them from books or whatever your resources that you're using to learn, and then call upon the energy of that tool when you need it during the day, so when you're in a position that you don't have those tools with you. So that's the first way to work with energy magic, is to actually still work with your tools, but you won't have them with you. So it's kind of, you're like channeling their energy. So that's the first suggestion on how to work energy magic. The second thing, let me just make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself. Yeah, okay. So the second thing that we have here is an activity for 7 days in a row. Keep track of how you feel energetically. So to do this, what you would do is use energy magic to kind of clear your own self. So instead of using like sage or different aura sprays or like whatever you might use, you're gonna go ahead and visualize, like just great white light energy filling your body, clearing out negative energy, watching the dark, dusty energy fly away from you. And then do this every day for 7 days. Whenever you feel like you're in a situation where you kind of need to dust yourself off a little bit. And the idea is that if you do it for 7 days and you do it consistently and you keep track of it for 7 days, is it's going to get easier for you to harness that white clearing, cleansing energy, right? So that's the second way you can use energy magic, is to clear yourself. So really visualize like white light filling up your body and pushing out anything negative. So the negative is coming out of you in like gray or black or whatever dark color, works for you. So see it filling you up and just pushing it all out. So that's the second way you can use energy magic. So the first way is to use your tools and harness the energy of your tools and kind of call upon it when you are out. The second way is to use energy to clear yourself rather than different things you might do when you're at home, when you have more time. This is all kind of on the fly energy work. So that's the second way to practice using energy magic. The third way that I have in here on this printout, and again, I'm going to put this in the class site and in the Facebook group for anybody who just joined and missed that part. So here, it says clearing and shielding your energy, fill your aura with something positive. And there's the task to brainstorm positive associations you can call upon. So this is a pretty cool one. So again, magic works on a vibrational kind of level, right? When we're aligning ourselves with an intention, that's when it works the best. So the idea here is to, hi Lauren. Sorry, I started early. I really apologize for that, but my husband's sick, my 2-year-old is sick, and the baby was sleeping, and he's now crying, so he's no longer sleeping, obviously. And it was like the moment to get on, so I don't know, I might be freezing. I don't have like the thing coming up telling me it's pausing, so I don't know why it's doing that if it is freezing. Usually it tells me it's pausing, and it's not telling me that. Okay. So this one's to brainstorm some positive associations that you can call upon later. Thanks, guys. I feel great. Okay, so here for positive associations. So one thing, we're always looking to manifest money, right, or bring prosperity into our lives in some way. So a really cool visualization for that is the $100 bill visualization. So at a time when you're feeling really like maybe you get this bill in the mail, or you have your car at the repair shop and they tell you it's going to be like $800 and you were totally not ready for that or something. So the way that you can use energy here is have these positive visualizations ready to go. So if you were home, you might do a money spell, right? Or you might light your green candle. You might get out your green crystals or your pyrite or your abundance oils. You might do all these things that you aren't going to do when you're standing there at the auto body place or the auto shop, the mechanic, and they tell you you owe all this money. So a way to use energy here is to visualize $100 bills just filling up your aura, just floating all around you, like glowing out of your body. So that would be one example. Another thing, maybe you find yourself in a situation where you totally don't feel loved. Someone's coming down on you hard. and you don't feel supported and all these things. So another positive association maybe for you, maybe it's a heart, maybe it's a certain kind of flower, maybe it's butterflies, like whatever that may be, the thing that makes you feel loved and happy and just like supported and great. And you just visualize those things floating around your aura, like as a part of you, like they just are swimming in your beautiful aura that's surrounding your body. So that's another way to use energy magic on the fly. So we talked about using, what did we talk about? We talked about calling on the energy of your tools, so if you don't have them with you. We talked about using the idea of white light energy to clear your body and push out to the dark energy, doing that for 7 days in a row to work on building a habit out of it and tracking how you feel over 7 days. And then the idea of filling your aura with something beautiful and positive. So create some associations for yourself. Like think about different situations you might find yourself in, and then create associations that you can use, visual associations that you can use, and just imagine it like literally like floating in your aura around you in that moment to bring in whatever energy it is that you're working on bringing in. And then the same with your home. So for here, this one, and again, I'll put these on the class site and in the Facebook group so you can print them out. You're going to use visualization with your energy. Describe what your home feels like before you have a clearing visualization, and then describe what it feels like after. So that's your task here. And the idea is the same. So using kind of like sitting, quietly in the center of your home, or like do one room at a time, and sit and just visualize like energy pouring out of your body, expanding through the room and kind of rotating clockwise around the room and just stirring up good feeling energy in the room and pushing out like anything you don't want there. So as it's stirring around you, it's collecting all the crap and then it's gonna like dump it and push it out a window or something. But the idea, again, is to use your own energy to do this. So instead of using tools like sage or sound, which are amazing to do, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but we're practicing energy magic and doing it ourselves, you wanna sit and just like see your own energy just like pushing out of you, and like a big, like giant broom just sweeping around the room and then like out the window. And so that's another way to use energy magic, is to clear a space that you're in. And that's a really cool thing to do for empaths and most of us here who are probably more sensitive to other people's energies and nonsense. So like, we'll stick with my mechanic situation. If you're sitting in the waiting room for 2-3 hours, it's probably a bunch of cranky people around because everyone's spending money on their car they don't want to spend. You can do that in that moment. Just sit and do that broom thing and just watch your energy pushing it out. So the idea with energy magic is using your own energy or the energy of the tools that you like to work with without actually using tools. So it's like I said in the beginning, for those of you who came on later, it's really, we use tools and we use hands-on things to, one, focus our energy, and to two, align with the vibrations of those things, because they do bring qualities to the magic work that we're doing, and that's what makes them important. But there's times when you don't have those tools. There's times when you don't have the one thing you need. We're out living lives every day. None of us are home constantly, just like stuck in our houses. We're all doing something, or we're in situations with other people where we can't just bust out the sage and sage the waiting room, where we don't have those choices. And so at the very foundation of all magic is what you bring energetically to it. And if you're not bringing high vibrations, the right energy to your magic, it's not going to work anyway. So using energy magic and starting to practice just using your own energy is a really great way to make the magic that you do with tools even stronger. And it's also just a great practice for living your life, because most of the time you're living your life and you're not able to just sit down and use tools. So, for me, I find that I'm using energy magic most of the time just because of the life stage that I'm in, between working with the Sisters Enchanted and 2 kids and a husband and like things and activities and family obligations. It's very rare that I actually get to sit down and like do a big ritual or something. So for me, energy magic is huge. So that's why you want to use it, just because it will strengthen your magical practices when you do big rituals and use your tools. And also, we're not typically in situations where we can just sit down and do that. Like, you can't just create an altar space everywhere you go.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's podcast episode. I hope that you took an idea away and are already considering what magic tool it is that you're going to tap into to carry that energy forward with you as you move through your days. Now, I am going to go. I don't know what I'm going to go do. Celebrate 7 years of the Sisters Enchanted. My little guy's birthday is right there. He's 1 year less than the Sisters Enchanted. So, so much goodness this time of year for me. I just love May. I love the possibility of May. I love the Beltane energy, and it feels like such a great month to celebrate anything and everything. So, go ahead, enjoy your day, and I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead.